This may sound like a joke, but the question pops up more often than you'd think: should the government be required to provide people, specifically men, with a girlfriend? While this might seem like an outlandish or even dystopian idea, it's a great jumping-off point to talk about loneliness, entitlement, and what society owes its members, and what it definitely doesn't. Why is it good for us? At first glance, the idea of the government stepping in to provide companionship may seem bizarre or even laughable. But when we dig deeper, we start to see that this idea, while extreme, is rooted in some very real problems, especially for men. In today's society, a growing number of men are experiencing intense loneliness. Studies have shown that young men are having fewer romantic and sexual relationships than ever before. Many feel disconnected, socially isolated, and unsure of how to form meaningful emotional bonds. This isn't just sad, it's dangerous. Chronic loneliness has been linked to mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and even a higher risk of suicide. It's no exaggeration to say that for some men, the absence of emotional connection can become a life-or-death issue. From this perspective, the notion of a government stepping in begins to feel less like a joke and more like a response to a legitimate crisis. Just as the government provides support in other areas, food for the hungry, shelter for the homeless, healthcare for the sick, couldn't it also try to address this widespread emotional and relational poverty? In theory, some might argue that access to love, or at least companionship, should be considered a basic human need, especially in a hyper-individualized world where making genuine connections is becoming harder by the day. Supporters of this idea might also point to societal benefits. If more people, particularly men, had access to stable, loving relationships, we could see improvements in mental health, reductions in crime, and greater social cohesion. People who feel loved and supported are generally happier, more productive, and less likely to act out in frustration or violence. From a purely utilitarian standpoint, fostering more emotional connection in society might be a good investment. In short, while the idea of a government-issued girlfriend is certainly controversial, the emotional void it tries to address is very real. There's a powerful argument to be made that modern life is leaving too many people, especially men, emotionally starved, and that society should be doing more to help. The problem is real. The proposed solution, however, well, that's another story. Why is it stupid? Now, let's step back and take a hard look at the idea. Because while it might come from a place of emotional pain or social concern, the concept of the government providing you a girlfriend is, to put it plainly, absurd. The most obvious issue is this: people are not commodities. A romantic partner isn't something you can distribute like food stamps or assign like a housing unit. Relationships are based on mutual attraction, respect, chemistry, and, most importantly, consent. The idea of the state mandating that someone be your partner violates those core human principles. No government, no matter how powerful, can manufacture genuine affection or desire. Think about what this proposal actually implies. For the government to give someone a girlfriend, it would have to take a woman, an autonomous, thinking, feeling human being, and match her with someone whether she wants it or not. That's not just wrong. It's deeply unethical and terrifying. It's not just a bad idea, it directly clashes with basic human rights and dignity. Besides the obvious moral disaster, there's the sheer impracticality. Who decides who gets paired with whom? Is there a waiting list? Will there be a romantic tax form? What happens if someone breaks up? Do they get reassigned? You quickly realize that turning relationships into policy creates an impossible bureaucratic and ethical nightmare. It's a dystopia, not a dating solution. And beyond all of that, it's also insulting, to both men and women. It assumes men are too broken or helpless to form relationships naturally, and it reduces women to rewards that can be handed out to keep the peace. It completely removes agency from both sides and turns something beautiful, love, into a soulless, government-controlled transaction. So yes, the loneliness many people feel today is real. But the solution is not to treat human connection like a government service. The idea might come from frustration, but when you really think it through, it's not only unrealistic, it's fundamentally dehumanizing. Stop. If you like video, please give us a like, share your opinion in the comments and don't forget to subscribe, since we have a new video every day. And now, let's continue with the video. The only people who want this are jerks and misogynists, who can't pull a woman themselves. Let's be real. The loudest voices calling for government-issued girlfriends aren't coming from thoughtful citizens trying to solve a social problem. They're mostly coming from entitled, angry men who believe that the world, and women in particular, owe them something. These are often the same people who hang out in toxic corners of the internet, ranting about how nice guys always finish last, how women only go for bad boys, and how society is broken because no one appreciates their existence. At the core of this mindset is a dangerous belief, that just being a man, or just existing, somehow entitles you to a woman's affection. But affection, love, and respect aren't things you get by default, they're things you earn through effort, empathy, and self-awareness. You don't deserve a girlfriend just because you're lonely. You deserve support, friendship, and a chance to grow, but not a romantic partner on demand. When someone starts demanding that the government step in and hand them a girlfriend, what they're really saying is, I refuse to look inward. I refuse to grow, or change, or try to connect in a genuine way. I just want a shortcut. That's not strength, that's cowardice. And more often than not, it's paired with an ugly dose of misogyny, the belief that women are objects to be possessed rather than people to be respected. It's also incredibly revealing that many of these same men often hate women for rejecting them, while also insisting they want a girlfriend. What they really want is control. They want someone who will be there unconditionally, without effort, without challenge, and without choice. That's not love, that's ownership. The truth is, if you believe women should be assigned to men by the government, you don't need a girlfriend. You need therapy. You need to examine your beliefs about gender, respect, and human connection. Because no emotionally healthy, grounded person actually believes that forced companionship is the answer to loneliness. At the end of the day, the only people seriously pushing this narrative aren't victims, they're bullies. And instead of demanding girlfriends, they should be working on becoming the kind of people someone would want to date. Until then, they're just shouting into the void, and thankfully, society is learning to ignore them. So, should the government be mandated to provide you with a girlfriend? No, absolutely not. Human connection is something you build, not something you're handed. The loneliness crisis is real, and society should support people's mental health and emotional development. But demanding a girlfriend as if it's a welfare benefit is not the answer. If we want a healthier, happier society, the solution lies in teaching empathy, emotional intelligence, and respect, not state-issued romance.